Hi, this is Sensei James Leonelli from Sensei's Weekly Mindset, and I'm here to talk to you about betonline.net. Betonline.net is your number one source for sports betting info, stats, news, and analysis. Get the latest odds and trends for every professional and amateur league out there, from football to basketball, soccer, and esports. Don't forget my personal favorite, MMA. We've got it all on betonline.net. And if you love sports podcasts, we can help you find those on BetOnline as well. We're always the fastest and easiest way to get your betting fix. And don't forget BetOnline for NHL, boxing, golf, and like I said, my personal favorite, the sport of MMA. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts. Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. Life isn't always easy, and you don't have to face it alone. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. With BetterHelp, you have access to a network of over 25,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of needs. To get started, you simply answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it's most convenient for you. The best part is, if your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. With BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom-picked for you, more scheduling flexibility, and at a more affordable price, all from the comfort at home. To start your journey and to get 10% off of your first month, go to betterhelp.com/sensei. That's betterhelp.com/sensei. BetterHelp, you deserve to be happy. Hi guys, Sensei James Leonelli here to talk to you about another one of our sponsors, LMNT. An electrolyte drink mix. Each one of these little packets gives you exactly what you need to keep you as hydrated as all us athletes like to be. If you're like me, you work out a lot, and when you work out a lot, you also sweat a lot. Now, when we sweat, we don't lose just water, of course. We also sweat out salt. We sweat out electrolytes. So each one of these packets contains 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium, giving you everything that you need in order to maintain optimal hydration and nothing that you don't. So to go online, place an order for your sample pack, and to get yourself a bonus free sample pack, you're going to go to this website right here, elementallabs.refr.cc/James Leonelli. You're going to see this down in the video below, but I'll say it one more time for you. elementallabs.refr.cc/James Leonelli. Again, it's a tasty electrolyte drink mix with everything you need and nothing that you don't. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Sensei's Weekly Mindset. I'm Sensei James Leonelli, owner and head instructor of Tiger Schulman's here in Smithtown. Once again, I am back in my home recording space, ready to give you guys this week's food for thought. You notice I'm wearing a little bit more of the Everyday We Train line. You can find that whole collection on tiegear.com. You'll find some of the originals that I wear quite frequently. Additionally, you'll find some new designs that they've put out. You'll also see the 40th anniversary collection. That's awesome. And then the street style collection. There's a whole bunch of really awesome stuff up on Tie Gear right now. Stuff to wear on the mat, of course, and stuff to wear off of it as well. So by all means, check it out again, tiegear.com. So other than that, as we sit here today, we're kind of in this middle ground of events, meaning we have in our rear view mirror the last Flex Fights, 4th of July. Ahead of us, we have the next Flex Fights. We have Labor Day weekend, we have back to school. So we're kind of like firmly in the middle of things. So instead of using one of those kind of events as reference, today I want to talk about what happened this past weekend with me and my family, because I thought there was a really nice lesson that kind of came along with it. Basically, I took the kids, Kai and Riley, to Colorado for the weekend. so they would have the opportunity to see their parents. Just a quick little trip. We left Friday morning. We came back Monday night, so just a couple of days there. Some time with each of their parents, and a little bit of a challenge because we don't set up that travel or those flights or anything like that, or the accommodations or anything. But it was also obviously a very busy travel weekend. It's the week right after 4th of July. It's one of the first official quote unquote weeks of the summer because we finished school here in New York the very last week of June. Then we had a couple days rather, and it's July. So now it's like the first real weekend completely separated from school that people could travel. So we anticipated having some really big issues with the actual travel itself. And the actual travel itself, though there were some issues there, we were thinking like, oh my God, we're going to be on security lines forever. Oh my God, we're going to, it's going to take forever to get through the airport. It's going to take forever to get our baggage. It's going to take forever to get, our shuttle out to the rent-a-car or whatever. We were anticipating all these things going wrong. And the reality is none of that was where the problem was. We left out of one of the airports here, the airport here on Long Island. We breezed through security. We were into the airport and through security, checked in, bags dropped, boarding passes in hand, through security, less than 10 minutes. Probably closer to 5, actually. So that part went swimmingly. We had decided, because of how the rest of the morning was going, we were going to eat breakfast in the airport. So we do exactly that. That goes swimmingly. In the airport, we see one of my cousins. We see one of Flex Fighters. We see one of Kai's teachers. So it looks like an awesome, great day. And then it gets to be about time to board our flight now. Because Islip is a smaller airport, it doesn't take a lot of very long distance flights. Quite often you go to Baltimore, and then from Baltimore you head on. So that was exactly our case. We were headed from we were going to go from Islip to Baltimore, Baltimore to Denver. So we are getting ready to board our flight to Baltimore. And as we're sitting there, and it's about time where it should be boarding, and I hear a little bit of rumblings from some other crowd. It's funny, there was a family that came through and they had a service animal with them, very well trained, very on point. It was funny, Riley walked up, she's like, can I pet him? It's a golden retriever, beautiful dog. And the lady's like, I'm sorry, right now he's working. And we had gotten through security now, and then now we're sitting, and Riley's like, now can I pet him? So the lady let her pet him. But I overheard a little conversation between her and her travel partner, and they mentioned, oh my God, I heard the flight is canceled. And I did notice a really big line by customer service. So my initial nightmare was, did our flight to Baltimore get canceled? Because if so, I got to make some moves here. So I head over to the nearest Southwest employee I can find, and I said, hey, did this flight get canceled? And they're like, no. This flight is over the other gate over there, gate, I think it was A8 or something like that, instead of A6. Oh, that's easy. So first little heart attack averted. So we take the kids, move over to A8, and we're sitting there for a little while, and we see the plane is connected to the jetway. Like, oh, great. Looks, plane's already here. I don't see any flight crew coming off yet, or coming off, I should say, means that flight should be good to go. But I see all the luggage that's going to be checked and put under the plane. It's just kind of sitting there on the right outside the gate there. And I'm like, that's not a good sign. We're supposed to start boarding any minute now. And that's a lot of luggage that I see sitting there. And I don't see anybody ferrying luggage. And even if you watch them put luggage in the plane, usually it's on like a little treadmill. And that treadmill's not even running. That's a problem. So then I checked my Southwest app, and we got delayed a little bit. And now, okay, we're supposed to take off at 12:20 now, so we're going to board at 11:50 instead of board at 11. Okay, no problem. Sit with the kids, we chit-chat, they're playing their games and whatever, and both kids are being really good. And now it's going to be about the time we should be getting on the plane. And I look out, still not moving. And then they make an announcement. Oh, the flight has been delayed. It's due to some technical issues. We're working on them to make sure we can get off as soon as possible, blah, blah, blah. Check back at the Southwest app now. Instead of leaving at 11:45, now we're leaving at 1:30. Well, that's a problem because our flight out of Baltimore leaves at 2:55, and our flight into Baltimore now is supposed to land at 2:39. That's a pretty tight window. Even if we were going to the very next gate, that's a very tight window. So I'm like, uh-oh. What can we do here? So I head over to the counter, Southwest counter, and I realized, oh, this has a really big line, but there's another one over there. So I go over to the shorter one. It was just one guy in front of me. They're to get taken care of rather quickly. My turn. I tell the guy the situation. He's like, okay, let me look. He's like, oh, okay. Next flight, instead of leaving at 2:55, leaves at 4:45. Gets into Denver at, I think it was 6:55 local time, something like that. I'm like, okay, let's do it. He goes, great. Simple. Easy. Great. So now, comes to be about the time we're getting ready to board the plane. As we're getting ready to board the plane, now all of a sudden this alarm starts to go off out of nowhere. And it's right over the worker's head who is taking all the tickets. And she seems very, very not fazed by this alarm. Like, it seems like it's, okay, this is obviously a false alarm, because she is not fazed by this in the least. To the point where she's even taking some of the boarding passes she's taking, and she's stuffing them in the speaker to quiet the speaker a bit. This must just be something that goes wrong fairly frequently. So, again, it's like, okay, obviously not that big of a deal. But we get on the plane. And we're waiting for a little bit, and then sure enough, we take off, and takeoff is easy enough, and landing is easy enough, and we get to Baltimore, and now it's like, okay, all right, guys, we have a layover now, but not like a huge layover. So now we need to eat, but let's eat. We're going to be in this terminal. Let's eat in this terminal. And of course, then it's like, what are the kids going to agree on? Because that's always a challenge with every sibling pair. And we find two restaurants to take out right next to each other. And the kids, one wants from this restaurant, one wants from that restaurant. I'm like, golden pony boy, let's do it. So sure enough, we get our food there, and all is well and good. I make a rookie mistake. Riley says, I want boba. And this sushi place right next door had boba. And I'm like, Riley, there are 3 flavors. One is coffee. You're definitely not getting that. The other is peach. That looks like something you like. And the other is matcha. And she's like, what's matcha? And Kai goes, oh, you know that green tea that Grandma likes? And Riley goes, oh, I know what that is. I like that. She was wrong. Riley did not like matcha. So we had this whole drink now that she bought, that I bought her. I'm like, all right, dude, you got to drink at least this much of it. And she does, and it helps her eat a little more of her dinner that she was going to not finish. And Kai ate like a trooper too, which is great. And then we're getting ready to get on our flight. All right, guys, let's head over there. And we hear the boarding. All right, boarding call. Starting the boarding. And then I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And she comes out, she comes back, and she goes, my belly hurts. I'm like, well, you have to go to like the bathroom? She goes, yeah. She runs back in. And now we're like tapping our foot waiting, because I'm seeing they're, making, all right, guys, ready to bring the A's on board. And we're going to board in the family boarding group, which is right after the A's. Because we have just a couple of days left until Riley doesn't qualify anymore for the family boarding. So now, I'm like, Riley, come on, we gotta go. And she runs out, and the second she runs out, we run up, and like within like 30 seconds, they begin family boarding, and we get online. And the lady checks us, hey, how old are you? And Riley goes, I'm 6 until Sunday. And Lily's like, oh, okay. So we get on the plane, no problem. Get to Denver, and now our plan has changed. Originally, we were going to go to the hotel, check in, and then we would go see my mother-in-law and my nephew Nicholas and his girlfriend for dinner. Because we were getting in later now, our plan was, just go to Grandma's house, and we'll see my mother-in-law, we'll see Nicholas and Jocelyn, we'll have dinner there. And we did exactly that. And that went well. Kids had a blast, as they always do. We go to the hotel, because now it's like 9 o'clock, so to us, it's 11 o'clock. I'm like, I got to get these kids to bed. So we get to the hotel, and not the nicest place in the world, but it doesn't have to be. And they check us in. Okay, this room. All right, so we go, we find that room. Cool. We open the door. And instantly the kids are like, oh. Right? There's old green carpeting that stunk. An older microwave that was in the room that was like, it looked like beat up. There were dings all over the front of the fridge that was in the room. The doorknob was kind of falling off of the bathroom. There were holes in the bathroom door that were patched with whatever they could find, not even like sheetrock or anything. just kind of dingy feeling, a little bit of a smell to the room. And the coup de grace, oh, before I get to the coup de grace, I try to like plug things into the wall outlets, and the plugs are just falling right out, which is a horribly dangerous thing. And then the coup de grace, Riley sits on the foot of one of the beds, and the bed just goes whoop, and the head of the bed just shoots up in the air. We're like, well, that's a problem. All right, kids, I'll sleep in that bed. You guys sleep in the other one. And we settle in, we go to bed that night. I go to the front desk the next day, and these guys, I'm like, all right, here's the deal. Bed's broken. This is the situation. Guy's like, okay. Do you remember which bed it is? Yeah, it's this one. Okay. So you want me to move your room or something? I'm like, yeah, that'd be perfect. He's like, okay, great. So I have the room right next door. I'm like, all right, whatever. We open up the door to the room right next door. We might as well have been in a different hotel. No green carpet, beautiful white laminate, brand new beds, fresh paint, brand new microwave, brand new TV. Outlets work. The bathroom door is in perfect condition. Everything about this room was better. Like I said, it was like we were in a whole different hotel. But it was just the comedy of errors that was this trip. And it was really the theme of the trip, whether we wanted it to be or not, seemed to be rolling with the punches. And often in life, we don't really have a choice, right? Like in this situation, what was I going to do? These kids have been awake for a very, very long time. And they've had a long day of travel. So what was I going to do? Go back down to the front desk when to them it's the middle of the night and argue with the front desk about moving in the middle of the night? No, we're not going to do that. Right, we have to roll with the punches. We got to go deal with it tonight, and then tomorrow we move on to the next. No problem. Right? And what was I going to do with the flights? Freak out, make a scene for what? Person behind the counter isn't controlling anything. Right? We just got to roll with the punches. Okay, that's the problem. Okay, go move the flight we're connecting to. It is what it is. Right? And so often life deals us little curveballs. And it's funny, I was having this conversation with a family member of mine recently, because they're going through some stuff medically. Not very good stuff, not my story to tell, so I won't. But they're going through some tough stuff medically. And there's a support group for what they're going through, and they'll go to a support group. And one of the things that they do in the support group is there's little, it's like playing cards kind of, but when you pull it out, it has a word on it. And it's like, how does this word affect you with this medical condition, blah, blah, blah. And the word they got was strong. And it was funny because their reaction was, what I hate in this whole thing with this medical condition is everybody telling me how strong I am. But I don't have a choice. I have this medical condition. And I have to overcome it. I'm not going to lay down and die. My choices are survive or not. So if I'm going to survive, then I got to go. I have no choice but to fight, but to put my best foot forward. And as I was talking to my family member about this, I said to him, you realize you do have a choice though, right? It's not so much a choice in like your circumstances. You don't choose the medical condition, obviously. You don't choose the treatment plan for the medical condition. You don't choose any of that. But you choose your reaction to it. You choose how you wear it, so to speak. Right? There are some people who would get this same diagnosis as this family member of mine, and it would cripple them. And they wouldn't be able to function. And they wouldn't be able to raise kids or work or like do anything around the house. And that's not the case with this family member of mine. They're exactly the opposite. You would never know that they were dealing with what they were dealing with simply because of the fact that they're making the choice to roll with the punches. Listen, these are the cards I'm dealt. Sure, it might be, the 2 of hearts and like the 7 of spades and like a green Uno card and like a joker and, like a get out of jail free card from Monopoly. But I got to make this work somehow. I got to roll with this. If this is the hand I'm dealt, then I got to play it to the best of my ability. Right? And it reminds me of an old expression that I was talking about with someone just recently, actually. Another family member of mine, just recently. We came up with, again, I've talked about this quote on the podcast before, but the adage of whatever you are, be a good one. And that is true when it comes to rolling with the punches, right? No matter what happens, no matter what the circumstances that were dealt your way, face them with your best foot forward. Face them to the best of your ability. Because though you might have a choice to whether or not you're facing the circumstances, don't get me wrong. There's some situations you find yourself in life that are your complete own creation, obviously. But the only way to put your best foot forward, the only way to really be able to overcome those circumstances is to roll with the punches, right? There's a great many things that can go wrong, and a great many things. And if you, again, just take those lying down and just said, okay, that's it. Well, you've made a choice. And your choice is to not go any further. When instead, our choice should be different. Our choice should be, yeah, let these things come, but roll with them as we might. I mean, if we think about it in a striking analogy, the idea of rolling with a punch coming at you, and you go with it, so that way you're dissipating the force. It's the same thing, right? So many people meet circumstances head on, and they try to fight them, and they try to push them off with everything they've got. And that's not always the best way. Don't get me wrong. If we're talking about like obesity or like things like that, yeah, fight that headlong. But like when something's beyond your control, it's funny. There's plenty of people in my life I know who love control, who love to be in the driver's seat. Even little Riley loves to be in the driver's seat. She loves to be the boss. And it's so easy to, when something knocks into you a little bit, and be like, oh, this thing wants to be the boss in this situation? No, not doing that. And just curl up in a ball. But for what? Right? You can't choose your adversity all the time. We talk about adversity frequently. I feel like it's something we talk about almost every week because it's the truth. It is a reality of life, adversity. So the thing is, when the adversity comes, just roll with the punches. Just find your way to dissipate that force a little bit, to just go with it as it comes in, and find a way to redirect it, and more importantly, find a way to throw back, right? Because when you're sparring, when you're fighting, punch comes at you, you roll with it, but you roll with it not just to dissipate the force, but you do it so that your follow-up shot has a little more fun, it has a little more power on it. So when life deals you that circumstance, roll with it. Roll with it. And then find your way to strike back. Find your way to come back better from it, right? I could have been so upset and freaked out so bad about the moving of the flight. So I just walk over to a desk and have a conversation. Problem solved. Moments later, right? And it's funny. I'll give you guys a funny aside in the opposite direction. Years ago, I was getting ready to, one of the utilities here on Long Island is with our cable provider, and our cable provider has a bit of a monopoly in this area, and they have this annoying thing that they do, where they will apply to your an account what they call promotions, and the promotions last X amount of time, and then your bill magically goes up again. So every 2 years or so, I have to call up and yell and scream to get what I want. So I got myself in this mental headspace. Oh, here it is again. It's been 2 years. I got to yell and scream again. The bill went up magically. So I call up and I am geared up. I am ready to have this fight. I am ready to just head to head, bull my way forward. Like a Brahma bull, just drive right through whatever adversity they're going to throw my way, and I'm going to get what I want. And I tell them, like, listen, this is what happened. I'm not happy about it. They're like, okay, you want me to pay when you're paying again? I was like, yeah. Okay, let me see what I can do. All right, good. I actually got $4 lower. Okay. Anything else I can do with you today? No. And I didn't know what to do with myself. Right? I was so geared up when this resistance came, when this big obstacle, this adversity came my way. I didn't know what to do when I was so prepared to meet it head on that when they rolled with the punches on me, I was flabbergasted. I had no idea how to handle the situation. And that's the thing, right? Life's always going to handle this adversity, always. Right? There's always going to be hiccups in the road. Flights are always going to run late. Silly things are going to happen in hotel rooms, and much, much more. But if we choose our reaction to our circumstances with a smile on our face, you'd be amazed how much easier those things become to overcome. So when life's adversity comes, when life is throwing punches your way, just roll with those punches and find a way to hit life back a little bit harder. So that's all I have for you guys today. As always, you can reach me via email, senseileonelli@gmail.com. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at sensei_Leonelli. You can find me on Facebook. I'm Sensei James Leonelli. You can find my school online, tsmasmithtown.com. On Facebook, we're facebook.com/TigerSchulmanSmithtown. Twitter and Instagram, we are at tsmma_Smithtown. You can find out more about the Tiger Schulman's organization as a whole at tsk.com. Find the podcast on Instagram at Sensei's Weekly Mindset. As always, you can find everywhere I'm on the internet at my linktree, linktr.ee/Sensei Leonelli. There you'll find all the links to our sponsors and everything else like that. So make sure that you guys check that out. Sponsorship opportunity still available. We have an old sponsor coming back on board very, very soon. So check that out. Be on the ready for that. Other than that, guys, make sure you guys subscribe. We get new episodes every Wednesday. Make sure that you guys leave a rate and review. It just helps. Most important thing you can do for me, though, guys, share the podcast. It is the greatest compliment that you can give me, and it's the only form of advertising that I have. Before I close out the show today, I want to wish an old friend of mine a final goodbye. I found out just yesterday, as a matter of fact, that one of my old training partners in my sensei school, a young lady named Ashley, very young, mid-30s, succumbed to her battle of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. She had 9-year-old twin boys. I haven't seen Ashley in a very long time, but we trained together for a very long time. She was part of my friend circle way back when. The world's a little less bright without her in it, for sure. She was one of those people, always a big smile on her face, never in a bad mood. I can't even picture Ashley. The only time I ever saw her cry in my life that I can remember was tears of happiness when she got her black belt. That's the only thing. No, that's a lie. I saw her laugh so hard she cried several times. So the only time I saw just tears, though, were tears of happiness the day she got her black belt. Just a very happy person, and the world's a little dimmer without her in it. If I find a way that we can support that family at all, I will definitely let you guys know. But Ashley Singer, rest in peace. We'll all miss you. Other than that, my friends, until next time, invest in yourselves. I'll see you guys on the mat.